And one of the things I realized, the more people's perspectives I heard, is just that dysphoria really does come in a lot of different forms. Not everyone's trans experience is the same. And it can honestly even change for one person from day to day or week to week. I've definitely experienced that, just sort of um, my comfort level with different things has shifted, my perception of myself has shifted. So, and sort of as that's changed, like I feel like the kinds of dysphoria that I experience have changed too. So, I think it's definitely not the sort of thing that's, as static or as universal as it's often said to be. So I think it's just totally good to recognize that, you may have certain forms of dysphoria and not others. How long it takes the medical community to catch up with that recognition is another question, but I think that there are signs of hope. The newest WPATH standards of care, for instance, which is not binding for any medical organization, but I think has a lot of weight. It's basically the collected sort of, I don't know, judgments of professionals, medical professionals who specialize in trans healthcare. Um, and I mean that acknowledges in some of its opening pages that different trans people have different needs and identify a different way, and that the trans community is a diverse thing, and that that's actually good and healthy, and so I'm really glad they're recognizing it. And I found in my own experience, as I've tried to navigate this system towards getting top surgery, like as someone who's still questioning their identity and whether I'm going to get start testosterone. I've also seen signs of hope. My therapist, for instance, has been really fantastic. I started meeting with him last December, and he's been incredibly supportive the whole way. I think basically the main advantage um, he's given me is just sort of actually suggesting other ways. When I came into that, I was kind of concerned. Well, I just read a whole lot of articles about sort of how gatekeeping has operated in the past and sometimes still operates, and I was really concerned that he was going to be like, you have to follow this one straight and narrow like path and like have this one special narrative, and you must sort of meet all of my scruples and heteronormative standards and stuff to qualify for treatment. But it was absolutely nothing like that. In fact, he's sort of encouraged other possibilities and other ways of thinking and other just options as far as going forward. My therapist was also more than willing to write me a diagnosis for gender identity disorder, which was not something that I minded at all. I don't mind having that attached to my record. I figure as long as it can open doors, that's great. I just wasn't sure that I qualified for it or like met the I don't know, criteria that they have set up for it. But he was willing to write that, and wrote me a fantastic letter when I was both to provide to my surgeon, Dr. Brownstein, and to my insurance company, which it was like very meticulous in its avoidance of pronouns, but very very affirming and helpful. So that experience has been good. All of my interactions at my student health center have been very respectful and very very affirming, and they've also tried to do what they can to get me the kind of treatment that I'm interested in, and the gender identity has not been a huge hassle there either. When I met with Dr. Brownstein for my consultation, he did ask if this was part of gender transition, and I actually felt perfectly comfortable saying that it was, because I figure I'm transitioning from female to something. I don't identify as female, so that's a gender transition, and this is facilitating it. Not that I suddenly become not female by having the surgery per se, but I feel much more comfortable in my body and in my non-female identification. So I figured that was more than an appropriate response, and that was all that he asked. Besides, what pronouns would you prefer me to use? And I said, at that point I just didn't care, so I was like, anything. So basically, I've had nothing but good experiences so far. I mean, I wish I could say that this were a universal experience and that everyone in my situation would have the same kind of treatment, and that everyone that they ran into would do as much for them as they have for me, because it's been really good. But just to put it out there, there's hope. Things are changing, times are changing, people's attitudes are changing, it's just, you know, it's taking a while, and I'm sure it won't be like that for everyone, so I'd hate to give anyone sort of a false idea, but I figure it's an encouraging story at least. So, thought I would share that. Anyway, this video is getting a little ridiculously long, so I think I will leave it at that. But I just wanted to check in one more time before the surgery and share some thoughts going in. Please feel free to send me a message or leave a comment or otherwise get in touch. I hope everyone is doing fantastically. Take care. Bye.